watching Glitter Gel Pen.
A lifelong, one-sided conversation of us consuming every pop culture podcast ever. Glitter Gel Pen has joined the chat.
Enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to Glitter Gel Pen.
I'm Jill.
And I'm Melissa.
And this is our first bonus episode.
From Washington, D.C.
And guess what we're doing here?
What are we going to do, Jill?
We're going to hang out with Jeff Wittek.
Tomorrow. We meet him. We're going to be best friends.
And you're going to see a lot of content with him. That's what we're manifesting in our Delulu brains.
We're excited.
We drove 6 hours today.
We left at 7 a.m. and then it's now 10:45 and we're starting to record this episode. We've done so much today.
This is a business trip, okay? It's a content trip.
We made a hotel video that we have been planning for months for whatever reason.
Yeah.
We got
just
ready.
Fun times. It's vibes.
Yeah, we got ready. The TikTok in the hotel room took forever, but we had pretty much planned to spend the whole day at our hotel today because the place that we're staying is in the center of everything, and there's food and all kinds of places to eat. There's 2 bars and a speakeasy, a restaurant. There's a DJ here.
Yeah, they have a whole studio and people can rent out the space and it's live. You can tune in to listen to the person downstairs DJing, and it's really cool.
Yeah, and the window for him faces out towards the street, and he's got this huge record collection that sits in there. It's really neat.
Yeah, so we were vlogging that kind of stuff, and we ate. When we ate, we had beef tartare, okay?
That was our first time.
We wanted to feel fancy, and we said, the rich people have tartare. And I said, isn't that raw meat? And we were like, yeah, I don't think
I didn't believe her. I'll be honest, I didn't believe her. I was like, she don't know what beef tartare is, and I don't either. But we ordered it, and we pretty much got a hamburger on the plate. Hamburger meat.
It was a deconstructed hamburger, but they didn't cook or chop anything. We had pickle that wasn't cut. We had lettuce, but nothing. We didn't have the burger on the lettuce, And we had our little hamburger patty, and they didn't cook that either. So
I feel though the hamburger meat itself is a hamburger meat version of a pasta salad, because it's all mixed in with some sauces and spices and stuff to make it taste better. And
yeah,
then,
the mustard.
Yeah, we thought it was mustard on top. We were dipping the meat in it.
We were let me get a little bit of this mustard on this bite.
Yum, mustard, and it was raw egg. Raw egg yolk, but we live and we learn.
Yeah, you live and you learn. So this episode is just going to basically be a yap sesh.
Yeah, this is our first episode that's unscripted
and unstructured.
Yeah.
We kind of know what we're going to talk about, but we don't have any bullet points. We don't have any notes, and we always have notes. So
yeah, and kind of what we were thinking is start this episode tonight, do a little recap of our day and everything that we did, and then tomorrow we go meet Jeff. We're gonna spend the day in DC, and then maybe Friday morning before we leave or tomorrow night, depending on how everything goes, do a summary of what happened with meeting Jeff and that sort of thing. And we'll also have a vlog to go along with this. So
yes, so stay tuned for that, because I think it's going to be a really fun vlog to watch.
I think so too. Jeff put out his first episode of his documentary, thinking about kind of breaking down and talking about on this episode as well. So
yeah,
we'll jump into all those things eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're leading up, building up to. It just feels weird to be unscripted. The bed thing is not really functional because of the wires, so if there's any rubbing in this episode, that's our bad.
We're laying back. We're getting comfy for this episode, you guys. We're in our robes.
We better get comfy because I'm tired. I'm beat.
This is just come to our nighttime routine. Come to bed with us.
Oh, you know what? I know what we could talk about.
What?
Men do not understand.
I know.
We went out and we were, in our little outfits going out in the streets of the city to take some pics. And we had one guy be creepy and kind of like come up to us and asked to like use my phone and take pictures of us, and I was like, no thanks, like we're doing it ourselves, like we don't need you. And then he kept, trailing off about whatever in the hell was like on his brain. And then so we were like, let's just walk back into the hotel because he wouldn't quit talking to us. And then he followed
us into the hotel,
and he like acted like he didn't, like he tried to just talk to random people and like make a reason to be in there. So we like ran to the bathroom to take pictures. And then it happened again. Like he was gone, and so we went out again, and there was another man,
and he was hovering, like he didn't even talk to us, but he was standing right beside us at the little crosswalk. We walked where we needed to go. We were standing outside of our hotel waiting for him to just like pass by, and he stood in the bush next to the hotel and just stood there.
And he stopped to smoke a cigarette, and it's like, you're literally walking outside. You don't have to stop to smoke a cigarette.
I'm just like, where do men not understand that, like, when a woman doesn't want you? Like,
it's like there was another woman out there when the second guy was bothering us, and like she literally crossed the road to get away from him, and she was like by herself, and like he continued to just like stand so close to her, and it's just like but the thing that I'm saying, like, men don't understand is like they don't have to go out in public and like and worry about like
anything like that.
Creepy men just like lurking. They just lurk.
Yeah. And also, like, a man has probably, like, almost definitely never had to, like, worry about his schedule getting messed up because he's, like, worried about some creeper following him.
Yeah.
Like, we literally were just trying to run outside real quick before we ate because we were hungry. We were trying to run outside real quick, take a couple pictures, and then go back inside to the restaurant and eat. And, that ended up taking us about 45 minutes, what should have taken 10, because we kept having to dodge creepers.
Yeah. It's just like men just don't, they'll never know. And that's the kind of thing where it's like, you should just be nicer to women. Yeah. All men.
All men. And you know who I think is nice to women?
Who's that, Jill?
Baby Jeff.
Baby Jeff. That's our baby Jeff. We don't say anything negative about him on this podcast. This is a safe space for Jeff. We only have one opportunity to meet Jeff Wittek for the first time. And we have, obviously, I feel like a stake in like meeting other like big podcasters now because we have a podcast. That is growing. So we created a script. Not a script. The script that we created isn't like word for word, you say this, I say this. It's like the concept so that we get our bullet points across. Yeah. Just because we don't want to be in the moment and like be like starstruck or freaking out.
I like your hair.
Yeah. Like we want to like tell him what we want to say. And honestly, the idea of like us saying what we've rehearsed in front of him makes my skin like, I get like the butterflies. I'm like, oh no, like, are we gonna be able to do this?
I think we got it. I think we can do it.
Do you want to
practice it right now?
Let's practice it. And if this is embarrassing, we can cut this out.
Okay. So here's how we start. Hey. So glad to meet you, even though we bought these tickets so that you can meet us.
Yeah, and we actually drove 6 hours to get here from Charlotte because we just started a podcast in November, and we talk about you all the time. We refer to you as Baby Jeff because we don't say anything negative about you.
Yeah, and so we've been vlogging the whole thing, and here we are.
And then we give Jeff a minute to speak.
Yeah, he'll say, wow, that's crazy, And he'll
be like, oh, wow, tell me about your podcast. And we'll be like, okay. So then we're going to say, we're actually here in town staying at the Eaton. It's a very nice place. And we're going to be doing like a reaction commentary type thing of your documentary that you just released and like discussing it. And we'll kind of be like covering that as it comes out.
And he'll say, wow, that's crazy.
And then we'll say,
you want to come give some of your own commentary?
Yeah. Welcome to Glitter Gel Pen Jeff.
Yes. We have a Jeff collab coming up. So stay tuned.
We're manifesting that we're going to walk away from this weekend with some form of a Jeff collab.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Whether it's now or in months from now, we're going to have a Jeff collab.
We are. So what did you think of the documentary?
I liked it. I thought it was a little short for, like, I don't know why when I saw that it was like a documentary, I was expecting it to be like an hour long or something.
I was too, but once I saw like episode 1, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's for sure just like sad. I feel pissed off for him every time, like, that I hear more about this story, you know?
Yeah, and I honestly didn't, like, I didn't know why, like, Jeff continued to get surgeries over and over again. Like, I thought it was just something that they were doing, like, gradually over time, like, to do more and more work to it. I didn't realize that he would get surgeries and his eye would sink back into his head more. Yeah. That is... Can y'all imagine dealing with that?
Like,
and then
insanity.
Having people on the internet pick you apart for continuing to speak about something that you have to deal with every single day of your life.
And I'm sure, you know, like you said, it's painful surgeries. It's also hard for him because he said that he has an issue with, like, prescription drugs. And, you know, it's like something that during these kind of surgeries, you have to take them, you know? Yeah. Like, I'm sure the pain is horrible, so you have to take them. And then it's like you're just battling your demons even more all the time because of this thing that happened to you by the hands of someone else.
Yeah, and it's like that situation, it would be so easy for it to cause, like, so much, like, anxiety and stress and stuff. And, they just give you a pill for that. Then you don't feel that anymore. Like, It would be so easy to, like, get hooked on that kind of thing. And what he went through, like, affects so much more than just, like, his appearance, the way that people act. Like, it's insanity to me that, like, people have an issue with him, like, talking about it, making money on it, anything. Whenever, like, something happens to a woman and, like, they're, for the most part, allowed to take something that happened to them and, like, run with it, and the whole world claps and cheers.
As they should.
But, like, you have to give that same, like, respect and space for a man to do that. Mm-hmm. Because, like, that's why men don't come forward with, like bad experiences with things, because they like get painted as, like, less than a man for doing that.
It also is sad that, you know, I know he struggles with, like, appearance type stuff, like being depressed like that, especially at first in the beginning. Like, I'm sure he didn't work out as much, or, like, he was in pain from surgeries or in pain from the initial accident, and, like, insecure about, like, the way that he looked or his eye looked and stuff. So, like, just the fact that all of that brought him to, like, being not so confident and stuff just really makes me sad, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, baby Jeff still looks good, you know?
Yeah. I was excited for him to say that if this is going to be, he mentioned that this might be his, like, last attempt at surgery to try to fix the problem. And he was like, you know, he opened that new barber shop in Staten Island, where he's from. And the barber shop has been, like, set up to where they're going to have a show there. Like, so the barbers that are all in there, like, he wanted barbers that had, like, social media followings and stuff to join in. So it'll basically be like a barbershop reality show. Like, it's going to be so good, because I loved his barbershop show. And as he said, like, as he gets done with the surgeries, he's going to get back into cutting hair, because that's something people don't really think about. But, like, if his vision isn't that great, like, cutting hair was, like, his thing. Yeah. And he can't do that if he can't see that well. And so, like, that's another thing that was taken from him. So hopefully,
it's like people suing car accidents, like, when they weren't even really hurt, and, like, they'll get lost wages, you know, type stuff in the lawsuit. And it's like, I think Jeff should as well in this lawsuit against David, because, like how you just said, Jeff's barbershop, like, he hasn't been able to do that, and that was, like, his thing that he was, like, known for, that was his content. And, like, he could have been making money all this time if it hadn't been for being injured.
Yeah, and I haven't like been watching a lot of the news this week because we're not doing Hot Topics, but I have seen that there are a lot of like news videos covering David like being like dragged back into the headlines for like gambling a lot and spending a lot of money. Meanwhile, like Jeff is uploading this documentary, which he also used that Madonna song that David used to use in all of his vlogs. So shout out to Jeff for reclaiming that sound and making it about something that like shows the true colors of David Dobrik.
Yeah. What do we think is going to be like the full outcome of this documentary? Like, what do we think the next parts are going to be like?
So I'm hoping that the tour is kind of part of the documentary, like, because I know that this is something he's always wanted to try to do. But like my guess on the like how it's all gonna come together is he talked about the barbershop in episode number 1. So my guess would be like he's recovering from surgery over this time, like he's on tour, he's out doing a lot of things. I think that he's gonna end the whole documentary with announcing that, because I think he's going to use the opportunity to like promote something as well. And I think he's going to use it to bring the barbershop show back in a brand new way.
Yeah.
Like that would be my guess, because he started off by saying that this is his last surgery where he's going to try to fix it.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And I think like this whole thing incorporating Jeff FM, it's like if he incorporates Jeff FM and then ends it on the note of Jeff's barbershop, I think that'd be a good way to like reclaim all of this this bad that happened to him by like making this documentary and being like, but see what I'm still doing and see what I can still do amidst all of this, like all these issues.
I could be wrong, but I remember, I want to say he started Jeff FM after the accident because he wasn't doing the barbershop show anymore and he like wanted to just like put content out. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's when he started Jeff FM. So at least he like got this other platform out of it. I feel like, and Jeff FM is huge now. The next time you see us, which is going to be in a couple of days for us, but for you it's going to be like 20 seconds. We will have met Jeff and we'll be giving you a full recap.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be showing you our collab with
our or we'll let you know whenever we're planning to do something with him. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
See y'all in a second.
And we're back.
Yeah.
It was 2 seconds for y'all, but we met Jeff Wittek.
We just met Jeff Wittek and watched his live show.
Yeah, and my voice, it's going, baby. It sounds as if I was yelling in the crowd that I wanted to Jeff or something.
She wasn't.
I was not.
That was...
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so
to say the least.
We literally just got back to our hotel from the show. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay, so
we met Jeff.
Yeah, so we get there. We're in a line. We're like,
and y'all know that we like had a script that we were gonna rehearse. Like we had been rehearsing to say to him and everything. And honestly, we killed that.
We did. We accomplished literally everything that we wanted to, okay? We checked every box, right?
Because we weren't going in scripted. We were going in with one opportunity to talk to the person where we're like, okay, we have one, like, these are the list of things we want to make sure that we tell him in the one chance we have to speak to him. The only thing that we didn't say that I found very important, and I started getting anxiety after we talked to him, we didn't tell him what?
We didn't tell him that we don't talk shit about him.
Yeah.
So we felt that when we told him that we were here, like, to see him and we have a podcast and we talk about him on the podcast, we thought he got a little nervous.
But the odds are he was probably just nervous about the show in general.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh no. Like,
I mean, later after Alyssa expressed her feelings of the anxiety over this, I said, well, in our conversation, you know, we said that we were glad the documentary seemed that it was going to end on a positive note.
Yeah, I was just worried he thought we were there as like critics, because as we were walking away, he like nervously was like, I hope the show gets good reviews.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, like, he thinks that we're out here to, like, I don't know, critique.
Yeah, but within our conversation, I felt we had, like, things that we said that would make it known that we weren't there to, like, hate on somebody. You know what I mean? So I feel better about that now. Yeah, so we talked to him. He was super nice. I did notice, and I noted that he seems really genuine, and he was trying to, like, spend time talking to every single person who was meeting him.
Yeah.
And he seemed really, like, engaged with everyone's conversations. It didn't seem like, hey, let's take a picture, move on. You know, he seemed super sweet to me.
Yeah, and the interesting thing was, it seemed like everyone that came there for the meet and greet, and, like, he even said that, like, everyone that we talked to traveled here.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like,
he said, who booked this show?
He was like, why did we book this venue? Because, like, if everyone's traveling to get there, like, maybe, I don't know. It was just like, I get what he was saying. Like, the audience wasn't, like, the most packed, but everyone that was there, like, went really far out of their way to come.
Yeah.
Which is good, because that, to me, that, like, from, like, a business standpoint too, it means that, like, his ticket prices and stuff are so reasonable that, like, people are willing to pay to, like, go stay somewhere and, like, travel to get somewhere to go see it.
Yeah.
We got some pictures. We got him to help us with the intro for the podcast that we've been filming while we've been here, which is sick. I'm so
excited about that. That was so good.
The edit for our intro is gonna be so good. We might actually have it done to put it on this video. I don't even know, like, what we're gonna have done yet, because we have so much to edit. Then we went to take the, like, cliche meet and greet pictures. And when I say cliche, Jill, I'm gonna put it on the screen what we have looked like in photographs for the last 2 days, because I'm gonna be honest, we have been
slaying, okay?
Like, the photos have been eating on this trip.
House down boots, okay?
Like, I'm talking, it doesn't happen often, but 8 out of 10 of the photos we've taken are keepers.
Yes, and that literally never happens except on this trip, okay? So the moment that we go to take pictures with Jeff Wittek, who we came here for, Jeff freaking Wittek, okay? We blow it.
We do the most basic arm around smiling pose you can imagine. And it's like, obviously that's what he's going to naturally go to do. But, like, that's not how we eat in a photo. Like, we've got to do a little, like, head turn. We got to give a little angle. We've got to move your leg out a little bit. Like, we got to do something to, like, make the photo look good. And we've had these good ass pictures of us all weekend. And we go to look at our photos with Jeff, and we're like,
and it's just like, boom.
Oh my God.
Insert sound here. Boom.
Thank God he suggested for us to take a selfie with the 3 of us, because
that's the best one.
It is the best one, and it's a completely different angle, and it just doesn't show our arm down by our side and the, you know, just the cliche, like, meet and greet picture. But it is funny.
Jeff, if we ever see you again, we were left a little hungry, okay? We were left a little hungry, and we need to eat. So,
but you know who we weren't as hungry as?
Don't you mean thirsty, Alyssa?
Thirsty? They were hungry.
It
was beyond thirsty in that room.
These bitches were crazy.
They really were. And I'm going to be honest, like, before, like, whenever we wrote our, like, script to talk to Jeff, Jill was like,
I was like, I said in our script at the end, because we wanted to
pick their brains, like, content-wise, YouTube-wise, not in, like, a
thirst trap kind of a way.
We're trying to sleep with you way. No.
We wanted to, like, talk to them, get to, like, know them, and, like, know things about, like, the podcast and how it works and social media and all these things. And so I was like, what if we just ask them to dinner, you know? And I was like, that's a little ballsy. Like, she was like, now I'm like, that's a little ballsy. But,
no one will do that. No one will do anything like that. This bitch says, do you want to see my titties?
She said, and then another one on the freaking mic during the show says, I would fuck you.
We thought no one would have the courage to ask him to dinner.
We thought dinner was a lot. We thought business dinner was a lot, Alyssa.
Yeah, it was crazy.
About the show, though, What did
Yeah.
you think of the actual show?
Okay, so overall, my critique was it was Jeff FM Live. It was exactly what the podcast is, with obviously sound effects, the banter, the coming back and forth. There's like interruptions that are maybe a little bit staged and planned, but like in a comical way. And you know what? The weatherman, or Ryan, he is so naturally good on stage, like talking to a crowd. Like,
he does good crowd work.
yeah. And even like Jeff, whenever he was doing more of like this stand-up style commentating, but it's not exactly stand-up, it was like, I thought it was good. But I feel like Ryan, whenever he, like, his timing with stuff is like he could really do like stand-up comedy.
I think so too. I thought that same thing. It's like, obviously everybody comes like for Jeff. Like, it's the Jeff FM podcast.
Yeah.
Like, and Jeff is great at what he does, and the tour is the thing that he does that's great. But like, that is really where Ryan stands out to me. It's crowd work and like comedy, like your typical kind of comedy that you would envision.
He's really good at it. On Jeff FM, like on the show online, like I feel like their banter on the show has gotten even better. Ryan, I feel like is gonna become, I think he should be more in the show and like become more of like a permanent co-host rather than like a side thing that comes in sometimes. I just think them together is like the perfect combination, and like seeing them interact like that on stage was like they were really good.
Yeah. Also, just like while watching it was like, this is so cool because, you know, it's something that is making Jeff happy. I feel that it's kind of healing for him. And this is like a healing experience to go and like meet these people who are here for him. And then also he gets to like bring his friends and employ his friends and have fun and laugh and do all of this. And so it's like really special to even watch, you know?
I don't want to talk about David in this because I don't know, like I think it has to suck in some ways that like even on something so positive, like the crowd gets hype whenever like someone says like David.
Yeah.
Right? So like that, not that Jeff isn't excited that like that happens.
He agrees and he'll hype it up in the show, you know?
Do you know like what it must be like to like have a show that's like your thing, you're like out doing your own thing, meeting your fans or whatever, and then like your number one enemy is still brought up, even if they're on your side, it probably sucks in some way.
Yeah.
And to have the crowd get so loud whenever they didn't get loud at like other stuff that's happened, like I don't know. But
yeah,
it's going to happen because I think it's a part of Jeff's content to like hate David because it's like, it's almost like an ongoing joke. Like it's so crazy, but I don't know. I just like that aspect of it is weird.
Yeah. So, and like all the bits in the show and stuff are funny. But I just need to tell you guys, okay? If you're going to one of these shows, don't bring your baby, okay?
Oh my God.
Do not bring your child to the show because we had one of those at this one.
It was crazy. I thought it was fake.
We kept going back and forth and we were like, is this a bit? We think this is a bit. And then we'd be like, no, this woman's crazy. Then we'd be like, are we sure it's not a bit? It was not. It was not a bit. A woman had her child, let the child run up onto the stage. Jeff tried to ha it off.
For a second.
Yeah. And she just walked up and stood there while her child was running around on the stage. They had to finally say, get your baby off the stage.
Dude, okay. Whenever Cody yelled and was like, the woman was trying to like defend herself as to why she was letting her baby run around on Jeff's stage during Jeff's show.
She said she had rose-colored glasses
when it comes to her child.
Yeah, and she was like, I didn't know if everybody like thought it was cute or not. It's
like
no.
It was funny for 10 seconds. Now you're interrupting and you're taking our time where we're paying to see Jeff Wittek. So get the baby off the stage. But the moment that, like, she finally, like, grabbed the kid, because I'm telling you, she acted like she had no control. Like, it was insane. So then Cody yells and is like, she said, well, she had made, I don't even know exactly what the woman said.
Some comment about parenting or something.
Yeah,
like
something
that.
about parenting. And Cody just yelled something like, you still have to teach them things. And, like, the crowd going, yeah!
Yeah, every single person, they cheered harder for that than David Dobrik, okay?
It felt like we were on the Maury show for 5 seconds.
And
like,
we just found out that, like, somebody was not the father.
Yeah, it was like the family drama in that moment was so real. But, like, that was so freaking funny. Like, and I think Jeff got, like, bummed out about the baby thing because it interrupted and it, like, threw off his story. And he kind of had to, like, move on to the next thing to keep the show going. But, like, honestly, the way that they handled it, and how bizarre it was, it almost, like, helped. Like, to give, like, that moment where Cody yelled that and the crowd went off, like, was a highlight for me.
Yes, it was so funny.
When she finally left, it was great.
Yeah, and that just shows, like, the kind of person that Jeff is. You know, like, he wasn't trying to be rude to a child, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and he wasn't trying to be, like, rude and embarrass somebody, even though, like, she was embarrassing herself, okay? Let's be honest. But he wasn't trying to do that. He was trying to, like, appreciate everyone. And, yeah, I just like the way that story ended for that woman, because what were you thinking?
One other thing that I'm interested in, like, to see as the tour progresses and, like, Jeff makes more content around it or whenever he gets back from tour is, like, I'm interested to hear more on, like, his perspective on, like, how is he feeling? Like, what is this tour like for him? And, like, before he goes on tour, like, what is he thinking? Like, how much of it's planned? Like, I just want to know more about, like, what is going on just from, like, a curiosity standpoint. Because, like, obviously, like, we met him and then the show started, like, what, an hour and a half later?
Yeah.
So, like, what does that hour and a half look like for Jeff?
Like, is he running around like a chicken with his head cut off? Is he, like, doing 50 push-ups in the corner, like, pumping up? Or
one other crazy thing on the show. I'm not going to talk about what was said or anything like that because it's stupid. Like, I'm just not going to share it. This is like it was a no phones, like, no recording. Honestly, I love that because
so do I had a note about that. Yeah,
it made it feel like a super safe space where, like, we could all admit to some weird shit, joke about weird shit, and, like,
and we could all kiki. And I feel that Jeff is more open that way than he even is, like, on Jeff FM.
And it's
on
only
YouTube and stuff.
The people in this room know what is going on, and they're the only people that will know. That's why, like, I hope to God that he didn't think that when we said we were going to be making a video about the podcast that we were going to be exposing any of that in, like, a not positive way.
No, we enjoyed it. We really enjoyed the show.
It was good, but they do a segment about
it's wild. They do basically a confessions section, okay?
Yeah.
You confess things.
And you can choose to, like, go up and talk in the mic. And, like, it's such a safe space that people are willing to go up and admit some crazy shit.
They admit the most wild shit. Like, stuff you would not even want to tell your best friend that you did. They get told that they can come up and say it if they want to. Wouldn't even tell your best friend this. And they walk their happy ass up there, stare at everybody, Jeff and all of the crew, talk about this experience with their back to the audience, and the whole audience is, like,
judging.
Yeah,
they're judging. But at least no one outside of that room is going to find out about it.
Yeah. One girl was actually, like, mortified afterwards, I think.
Yeah, it was insane. I really liked it, though, because, again, like, I felt like the way that they set up the show, something about it just, we also had a small crowd, so, like, I felt like it was just a lot more intimate. Like,
I love the intimate setting.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
It was honestly just, like, really good overall. I would go again.
Same. Do you think that it's uncalled for girls to come up when they're speaking on the mic for whatever reason during the show and before they leave, for them to say, I also just have one more thing to say. Don't sit here and lie and act like Tana isn't the love of your life. Like, in front of the whole audience.
I don't know where people have the audacity to say some of these things. Like, it's giving, I spend too much time in the TikTok comments, and I feel like this is okay to say to a human being.
Yeah.
Like, you know how, like, concert culture has gotten very bizarre where people throw shit at people on stage? It's the same vibe. Like, Jeff just sat here for an hour and however long and, like, was super vulnerable and, like, poured himself out in some way, and he just did all this, and like like, how can that be what you want to say?
Yeah, that's like obviously not something. But these people, again, we're forgetting these are the same people that are like, I would fuck you. Like, to his face. Wild. In its own right. But these are the same people that do that.
Women, if you're going to Jeff's show and you want to hook up with him, don't yell it from the crowd. It doesn't go the best.
Yeah, it doesn't go that well. It doesn't happen.
I think you'd stand out more if you go and you just try to be nice to him and ask him how his day is going. I think it would go a lot further.
Like,
than,
hey Jeff, did you enjoy the weather today? That would probably be more memorable at this point than saying, you want to fuck?
Yeah.
He hears it so much.
Yeah.
It was the thirstiest thing I've ever seen.
I've never seen anything like that before. And, like, I know it's also, like, a bit in his show that, like, his audience is just a bunch of women that want to have sex with him. And, like, while I think that's true, again, it's the audacity to, like, act like that outside of your computer screen and in public and in front of a real human being.
Yeah, it's like, especially when you go to these shows, like, I get leaving a TikTok comment or leaving a YouTube comment or whatever, but, like, when you go to these shows and they're standing in front of you, it's like, it's not online anymore. Like, it's an actual human, like Alyssa's saying, and, like, that has to be at some point, like, I'm sure, you know, it kind of boosts his ego a little bit by being like, oh yeah, bitches want to fuck me, but, like, at some point it has to just kind of feel degrading.
Can't see that being, like, a fulfilling feeling. Like, you're doing a Q&A and you want people to, like, ask you, like, real questions and, like, get you excited about, like,
and kind of, like, I feel like he wants people to, like, know him on, like, a human personal level as well.
And it is so, like, surface level. Like, you love Tana, I want to fuck you,
fuck David Dobrik, which, like, duh, but yeah,
but it's like, y'all don't have anything else.
Like, yeah,
it was, for such a small crowd, there was a lot of room for that to be, like, a really personal, like, good Q&A. And it
wasn't. It was, can you sign my titties? And, like, you want to see my titties? I want to fuck you. All the things like that. It's just so bizarre.
It's funny in the middle of the show, but during a Q&A where, like, he's willing to answer any question you ask him, I don't know. I just thought that was weird.
So did I. Also, like, kind of leading out of the topic of that, do you think that they go home? Like, I just wonder what their freaking debrief at the end of every night is.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like tonight was rough. Like, for them, the way, like, their reactions to things felt like this is a little extreme. I'm curious if the other shows are at all like what we had going on tonight, or if, like, one person acted crazy so everybody felt like they could just, like, say anything. It was just, like, fair game.
Yeah.
I'm really curious if all the shows are like that. But DC is a strange place. And I just know that tonight, I don't know. It felt like a rough night for them, for me, and not in a sense that the show wasn't good, but, like, just, like, reading someone's energy from across the room. It's kind of like, they're not vibing with this crowd, like, the most.
No, like, I just know sometimes their debrief has to be like, dude, what the fuck happened tonight? Like, just even, not even, like, the horror, like, the horrible, like, crazy stuff that's said to him, like how we were just talking about, but just, like, the confessions and stuff, they have to be like, dude, what was that?
Yeah.
Because some of those are wild. We would be like,
and we don't even know the
for
ones.
years
We didn't even know the ones that, you know, they didn't send in or they
Yeah.
didn't put up in
I
the show.
wonder, do they go through them all, like, later during the debrief and be like, dude, what the heck is this? Like, that's actually so juicy. Like, that's so fun.
That is fun.
Yeah. But in conclusion, I thought the show was really great, and I think Jeff is a sweetie, and I think that he truly seems really humble, and I'm super excited for, like, this next chapter for him.
You know what I'll say? After, like, seeing this tonight, I know that we don't, like, know him on a really personal level. I swear that I trust him. Like,
Yeah.
I really trust him as a person. And, like, after just, like, everything he said and, like, just, like, I don't know. I just, like, trust him. And I am not trying to, like, bring this up because I know I just said the other stuff earlier. But, like, I was a huge fan of David Dobrik, like, to the point where, like, when his vlogs came back, like, I was excited despite the fact that, like, I'm definitely a much bigger fan of Jeff, like, now. But after seeing this and knowing Jeff and feeling like the way that he presents himself and, like, is in person and the way that he talks and, like, everything he said during the show, I trust him, and it makes me understand more of the fact that, like, people do not see what David Dobrik is behind closed doors. Like,
Yeah.
because obviously, like, there's a lot of things about David that have made the public question if he's trustworthy or whatever. And, like, I swear, like, honestly, one of the things that came into my brain was, like, people went back and forth on whether Brooke Schofield was, like, defending David in that episode of her and Tana. If I was personally friends with Jeff, like, even just knowing the way that I feel right now as someone who just met him and heard him, like, give his spiel for an hour and however long, you would never catch me not saying something negative about David if it came up in front of me.
Yeah. For real.
And I'm not trying to, like, drag Brooke into it and, like, say something negative, but, like, that was just something that popped in my head during the show. And I was like, damn.
It's like, he seems so trustworthy, and so then it's like, yeah, like, if you didn't already think that everything that he's always said about David was true, it's like, now you really do, and you kind of understand, and yeah. But yeah, so we definitely left this loving Jeff more than we already did.
Yeah.
He is still and always will be our
baby Jeff. We're not 100% sure what all this episode ended up being because this is our first not scripted, on a whim, on the traveling road podcast. But
Yeah.
we hope that you guys enjoyed it.
Yes, and
We have a vlog up from this trip as well.
yes, you can go check that out because we had so much fun.
Yeah,
And
we really
were
did.
slaying in all the pics that we took except for these.
And they're not, like, bad pictures. It's just not a sleigh.
Yeah. So if you want to see us slay.
What was the thing that Tana said?
Oh. I was cracking up earlier, okay? Because Tana said, are you really slaying if you're not in a little bit of discomfort? We were uncomfortable. And then we
not
still
slaying.
we still didn't slay. So if you want to see us slay, you can follow us on our social media at Glitter Gel Pen Pod. And if you want to continue seeing us slay like we are right now on the podcast, you can click the subscribe button and give it a like.
Well, you took all the words right out of my mouth, Jill. But yeah, thanks for watching. We upload new full-length hot topic. Most of the time they're hot topics. Sometimes they're deep dives. Episodes every Monday at 11 a.m. on YouTube, 6 a.m. on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And we upload bonus clips throughout the entirety of the week. 3 times a week, and this that we're doing now is even more bonus content. More bonus content is coming.
Yes.
So stay tuned for everything, and
We'll see you next week. TTYL.
bye.
She's 21, love a savage, but she got a little bit too much of that baggage. Baby said she wanna just have some fun, all okay, I'm about it. But understand I do is when we're done. I ain't claiming none of these baddies. I'ma say I love it when I'm on the run. I'ma say I love it when me on the run. 5 pounds, 2 out, 2 down, you done. When we add it up, it'll be for some. So this is right here gonna be the one. But I got a hunch, couple little bad bitches jumping out a bunch. Brady with the touchdown pass, 6 up, 9 down on the pussy, I see